Good morning. The court's going to take up the next case on the court's docket. This is cause number CV2004178. This is in the interest of Ezra Senechal, a child. The case is set for a permanency hearing and pretrial. Case is currently set for trial September 2nd, 2021 at 3 p.m. with a dismissal date of October 9th, 2021. Participating in the hearing today on behalf of the department is Jennifer Gilligan, to engage case manager, Corey Jacobs, supervisor, and Brown County Attorney Assistant Attorney Terry Moore. The mother of the child is Kinsey Thunderbird Todd, and I don't believe Ms. Todd is currently participating in the hearing today. Jennifer Broughton is her attorney ad litem, and Ms. Broughton is participating in the hearing. Joshua Todd was previously identified as a father of the child, but he was ruled out by paternity testing and non-suited and dismissed from the case. The father of the child is Seth Senechal, who is participating in the hearing today. Chelsea Timmons is the attorney and guardian ad litem for the child, and the current caregivers for the child are Carla and Chad Hill, who I believe are maternal grandparents of the child, and they are both participating in the hearing today. If I didn't note earlier, the hearing today is being conducted pursuant to emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court via Zoom video conference. Court is excusing from participating in the hearing today the child that is the subject of the suit. All right, if we're ready to proceed, I'm going to ask Mr. and Mrs. Hill, Ms. Gilligan, and Mr. Senechal, if each of you could raise your right hands, please. Each of you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give today before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, sir. We're ready, Ms. Moore.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Gilligan. Ms. Gilligan, what is your connection to this case, to Ezra?
I am the case manager for Ezra with To Engage.
Okay. And Ezra is almost 2 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And she is with her maternal grandparents. Is that correct? The Hills?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
How's that placement going?
Very well. Ezra is a happy-go-lucky little girl, and she's growing, and she's beginning to talk, and she's doing really well there.
Okay. And are all of her needs being met in that placement?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
All right. And let me ask you, Mom, as I understand it, lives somewhere in Early.
Yes, ma'am. She's living at the Royal Inn at this time.
All right. And I believe she lives with a boyfriend.
He is actually in CRTC in San Angelo at this time.
Okay. Corey. Yeah. You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I remember that from the case that's coming up with Piper, and I apologize.
It's okay.
Has Mom worked her services like she's supposed to? What's the status with her?
Okay, she has been doing counseling. She did complete parenting classes. She has not had steady employment. However, this morning, she did send me a verification of self-employment for cleaning houses, but I did not know about that until this morning. I knew she had been doing some, but I just thought it was random. So, and then she also has been approved for VA benefits, but that's just like last month that started. So,
okay. All right.
other than that, she's been testing positive on drug screens and things like that. So she, unfortunately,
So she's partially in compliance, but maybe not on the most important stuff. Would that be a fair and accurate statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the father of Ezra, we believe, is Seth Senechal, who lives in Wisconsin.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, has the DNA testing been done on him?
Yes, yes. And I believe it was completed.
Okay.
And he is the father of Ezra.
All right. Has he done anything as far as working any services or anything at this point?
No, ma'am, he has not. We've told him he has to do those on his own because he is in Wisconsin, and then let us know. He does have occasional duo Google visits with Ezra, and those are going well, but that's all that we've had.
Okay. So at this point, what is the permanency plan or the ultimate goal we hope for Ezra?
All family relative kinship adoption is our primary goal with the concurrent of relative kinship conservatorship.
Okay.
So,
Now, at one point, family reunification was on the table. Is that off the table at this point?
yes, ma'am, unless there are huge strides that are made between now and the trial.
All right. And the strides coming from mom?
Yes.
Okay. And so today then, and mom, I think's biggest problem is meth.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today the department is asking that it continue to act as TMC, temporary managing conservator, that Ezra's placement be continued with her grandparents, the Hills, and that there be a review set in 4 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
I know my microphone is
Yes, ma'am. That is.
okay. I had a message that my microphone failed. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Anything else that you feel like the court needs to know today, either about Ezra or about the parents?
No, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Broughton, did you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Ms. Gilligan, although my client has some shortcomings, is it fair to say that she has stayed in regular contact with you and is keeping you updated on everything she's doing on her service plan?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that you would need to see some strides made from the mom, but is that also true as to the dad?
Yes, he would have to come to Texas and start working our work services and send them to me. So
He has not provided proof of working any services there where he resides. Is that correct?
no, ma'am.
No parenting classes,
No, ma'am.
no counseling services,
No, ma'am.
and no drug test, correct?
Correct.
But he is still doing virtual visits with the child despite all of that.
Yes.
And is he providing any kind of child support for this child now that we have confirmed that he is the father?
No. He does send occasional things to her, such as gifts, but that's all.
And you and I both spoke to Kinsey this morning. She indicated she would be here. We're not sure what's happened with that, but typically she is here for these hearings. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, Your Honor? And
Thank you.
Judge, I think my client might be in she said her screen says waiting on host.
Well, I'm checking the waiting room right now. Unfortunately, we have 2 different hearings set involving your client, and my guess is she might be in the waiting room.
On the next one?
On the other one, so you might ask her to, or she can wait and be on that one if you're okay with that. But I suspect she's on the waiting room in the other one because I don't show her on my screen in this case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any other witnesses from the department, Ms. Moore?
No, Your Honor, I'll just ask that the court take judicial notice of the court file.
And Ms. Timmons, did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Broughton, did you have any other witnesses or matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Senechal, did you have any questions for Ms. Gilligan or anything you'd like to relate to the court about the case today? If you do, if you could unmute your device so we can hear you.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. and Mrs. Hill, anything you'd like the court to know about how the child's doing or anything you need at this point?
Jennifer pretty much summed it up. She's doing really well. She's growing. She is definitely doing good where she's at for now. So
Good. Well, thank y'all for everything y'all are doing. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, the court is going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator of the child and continue the child in the current placement at this time. All other orders remain in place. The next setting in this case right now is the trial that's set on September 2nd, 2021 at 3 p.m. with a dismissal date of October 9th, 2021. I'm required to notify any parent in this type of case that because of the nature of these proceedings, your parental and custodial rights and duties to your child may be subject to restriction or even termination, and your progress during any court orders or planned service will be reviewed at any future hearings in this case, including at the trial. Mr. Senechal, as I've previously advised you, in any litigation, you have a right to retain a lawyer to represent you. If you are opposed to what the department's wanting to do in the case and cannot afford to hire a lawyer, you can make a request for a court-appointed lawyer if the court finds you do not have sufficient assets or income to hire a lawyer on your own. The court can appoint a lawyer to represent you in this case. The department is required at each of these hearings to set forth their permanency plan. A permanency plan is basically a statement by them as to what they would be asking the court to do at the time of trial if the facts remain pretty much where they are at this point. The department, through to engage, is indicating to the court and to the parties and counsel that at this time their plan on September 2nd is to ask the court to terminate the parental rights of Mrs. Ferndenberg Todd and your rights to this child. Now, whether the court would grant an order that terminated your parental rights or her parental rights or both would depend on what the evidence and the facts are at that time presented in court. But you should be aware that that is what they are stating their intention is to do. One of the grounds under which your rights could potentially be terminated under Texas law include a failure to comply with court orders and the service plan that was developed in this case. I don't know if you are opposed to the department terminating your parental rights to this child or seeking that termination. But if you are, then I think you will want to rapidly either retain an attorney, or if you cannot afford an attorney and want to make a request for one, you need to make a request for a court-appointed attorney, because we will be proceeding to trial soon, and the law only allows a limited amount of time for these cases to come to some resolution. So we're going to have to go forward with the trial, and the department may be presenting evidence that they feel would support a termination of your parental rights. At this time, do you know if are you planning on retaining a lawyer? Are you wanting a court-appointed lawyer? Or are you not opposed to what they're asking for in the case?
I'm still looking for a lawyer. So.
All right. Well, I just wanted you to be aware that when this case comes to trial, I don't have a lot of leeway to move this case back. So if you're going to hire a lawyer, you need to get one hired quickly. If you cannot afford a lawyer, then you can file a request with the court for a lawyer by filing an affidavit of indigence form with the Brown County District Clerk. You can obtain a copy of that form from the clerk's office. But I would encourage you to, if you're opposed to what they're wanting to do in the case, that you consult with an attorney and perhaps retain one or request one, because if you fail to do so, you'll be representing yourself at the time of trial. And that usually doesn't work well for most individuals. Some people are able to represent themselves, but I would suggest that might not be a good choice for you. So I encourage you to rapidly make a decision about that and take some action on it. Okay? All right. With that, we'll be